Hello, friends. Excuse me. Happy Friday. Got something a little different tonight. I got the Halloween pipe out, ready to get our Halloween spectacular rolling here. It is the last time we'll be gathering before that best of all pipe smoking nights. So figured I'd start with this. I got the Matches Memorial pipe for later on. And of course, I've got some Haunted Bookshop in it. And I'll tell you a little bit about the pipe as we get rolling. But Let's see who we've got with us so far tonight. Let's see. There's my buddy Mushroom Leg. How you doing, my friend? Gary Edminster, Doug Owen, Stony Lawn Cottage Pipe. Good to see you, buddy. Big Dave. I'm just going to ignore that. There's Poem. No, that was not Mr. Hanky. It was a Halloweeny poem. Let's see. Think I got Gary Edminster, Pensive Piper. Good to see you. Signal Man Tony from Rhode Island, Lord Hogarth, and Pipe Writer. Great. Good to see everyone. And hope you enjoyed the slightly different Halloween intro. I don't know if you got a chance to see my Halloween video that I put up yesterday, but I'm quite happy with it. Not perfect, but it was fun to make and good time. Review of favorite pipe smoking moments in monster movies. So, and I borrowed the Halloween shirt from that. So, hey, there's Phil Rivera. How you doing, Phil? And BCV Piper. Good to see you. So this pipe, this is my Halloween pipe. It's made by a carver named Jesse Jones, and you can see it's got those really cool little a skull ring that serves as a shank adornment. Is that focusing okay? Hopefully that's coming out okay. And I actually won this pipe. Years back, there was a contest on Brothers of Briar forum, and the same forum where I got all those tobacco samples that we've been going through. And it was a Halloween contest, and Jesse had donated a pipe as one of the prizes, and I actually won first prize and got this pipe. And it immediately became my Halloween pipe. I only smoke it the week before Halloween, put it away the day after Halloween, and it only smokes haunted bookshop. So it's got a bit of history to it. And of course, when I've named it Bela, and it's got its tamper companion here named Renfield, which was made for me by my dear friend Danny Shore. Bone with a shell casing on the end of it. Goes pretty well with the creepy monster theme. Bunna Piper, happy Friday. Good to see you, my friend. And Kevin Doolin, Steve Russell, Tim Fournier. What was the Vincent Price movie on the clips? It was probably one of the Dr. Phibes movies. Glentil Breyer, yes indeed. On the back of my Zippo. And of course on the front we've got a cool little Time Flies with the skull. Texas Piper. Hey, Eddie. In and out watching the Texas Rangers. Yeah, I hope they beat the living heck out of those. Yeah. Go Rangers. Take that, Big Dave. There's White Ash Piper squared. And I think we are caught up. So good to see it. So we're just going to have some fun tonight. I've got some Halloween trivia we can do. No contest. We won't keep score or anything, but just some fun questions. I hope. I haven't actually looked at the questions. It was the abominable Dr. Phibes, says Doug Owen. Thank you, Doug. I honestly, I made those slides at least a year ago, maybe well, no, it had to be 2 years ago. And I just pulled them up tonight as I was putting stuff together. I didn't have a chance to look through them, so I don't even honestly know what you guys were seeing. I did pick out the music, though, this evening, which was not surprisingly it was surprisingly difficult because YouTube changed how they do music now. So I had to learn me something. Hillbilly Piper, how you doing there, Donnie? Diamondbacks have a good chance of winning the series. Yes, they do. So do the Rangers. We'll see, Big Dave. I'm just teasing because I'm a little bitter, but it was fine. I'm glad the Phillies got as far as they got. So I got my Halloween mug out here, which is this cool metallic steampunk skull. And I will try to remember to hold it this way so you can enjoy all of its skull glory. Actually, I probably won't do that because I'll spill it all over myself. And in the mug, this, I don't know if this is the one. No, this only holds one beer. It's my Christmas mug that holds two beers. I'm very proud of that. But in the mug, I've got ice water. Um, and I don't know if I should tell you why I'm drinking ice water tonight instead of something more enjoyable, or if I should just leave it at that. Jeffrey Feinberg, the intro music that I played, the credits for that are in the description of the video. So if you just check there, you'll see it. I'm blanking on what it was now. Maybe somebody else recognized it, but there's Central Cow Piper. So the reason I'm drinking water is, so I went out last night and had dinner with an old friend, and it was really great to see them, and we had a really nice time, and we went to a local brewery, and Phil says, "Go ahead, tell us. We'll let it slide." And Poem's guessing it's because I'm on meds. Let me tell the story. So anyway, I go to this local brewery. It's called Round Guys. Been there several times. Haven't been there in quite a while, and I actually haven't seen this person in quite a while. So it was nice to get back there, and they've got some pretty good beers. And the first beer that I had, first, so you might see where this might be going, was called Rye Eagles Rye. Eagles fans will get that. And it's a rye beer, and it was good. It was a little sour, but in a nice way, and a pretty enjoyable beer. And we're chatting and eating and stuff, and waitress comes, "Would you like another?" And of course, so I'm looking at the beer list, and I have this problem, and it always happens this time of year. I'm exactly the situation. I'm at a restaurant somewhere that's got a beer list, not just a couple of beers on tap, but a pretty nice selection. And I look down the list, and I've had one. And on the list will be, because of the time of year, there will be a pumpkin something or the other. Now, I don't like flavored anything. I don't like flavored coffees. I don't like flavored beers. I'm not a flavored guy. I like beer to taste like beer. But for some reason, this time of year, I think to myself, they're popular. There must be something. Maybe this will be a good one. It's kind of like how I smoke an aromatic every Christmas, expecting it to not be bad. Now, if my wife is with me, she'll say, "You're going to be stupid again," and then I'll go, "Oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't." Or sometimes I'll order it anyway. But I didn't have that last night because my wife's in Pittsburgh, so I ordered, I think it was a pumpkin lager. It was horrible. It was really, really bad. It was clove heavy, and I don't know if any of you remember from probably the early 1980s. There was a mouthwash called Lavoris, which was a red mouthwash, and it was clove flavored. If you've ever had the pleasure, that's what this beer tasted like. But I paid for it, so of course I drank it. And at this point, when the waitress came back, I should have said, "Oh no, two's my limit." But I had this clove taste in my mouth, so of course I got another Rye Eagles Rye, which did a wonderful job of getting rid of the clove taste. And now I see a couple people guessing it was a hangover or something like that. No, I actually don't get hangovers. I've never had one. But there's something you don't know. I've been on antibiotics for the past week, which I completely forgot. Now, and it's for nothing serious. I don't know why I'm so congested right now. It feels like it's an allergy thing. I'm not sick. Just to get it out of the way, there's an ingrown toenail that needs to be dealt with, and they have me on some prophylactic antibiotics. So I completely forgot I was taking them, and you're not supposed to mix alcohol and antibiotics because it can really screw up your GI system. And so I'm drinking water tonight is the bottom line. And if I have to suddenly go to a commercial break, you'll know what happened. Clove poisoning. It might have been clove poisoning. Uh, I didn't tie one on. I had a couple of beers. Yeah, maybe this one, our famous last thoughts. Tim, a chocolate. Oh, that chocolate bear. Did you write bear or beer? Knowing Tim, it's a pun. Oh no, it is beer. Sorry, Tim. Um, I a stout that has some chocolate flavor, a porter that's got some chocolate. That's okay. It's the really over the top flavored beers that I don't like. Although I got to be careful because I recently had a mango beer. I think it was Phil that recommended the guava beer, which I've enjoyed. So it just depends on how it's done. Tim prefers his beer tasting like Listerine. Well, you might be able to find one of those, Tim, and if you do, let me know so I can stay away from it. Uh, One Simplex One, hello there. And the Smooth Piper, good to see you, Peter. The brown bottle flu, huh, Doug? Armchair Piper, hello. Oh, Gary, you've had a bug. Yeah, there's some stuff going around. That's why I'm hoping this congestion thing that I've got here is not actually something starting. But I've been fine all day, other than the GI. Chris Kahn, hello, Chris. Yeah, I like this pipe a lot, Poe. It's definitely a favorite. Armchair Piper, did I say hello to you, buddy? I hope so. If not, hello. Gary Edminster's having his Peterson house pipe with the usual. Sounds good. Great to see you too, buddy. So what time is it? Yeah, we're not a quarter. It's around 8:30. We'll half past the hour. We'll do some Halloween video if you're up for it. Halloween video. Ooh, Halloween trivia. There we go. Doug's uncle was a pirate. Now I gotta go and look. Ah, Phil. Make one mistake. Ford Smoking Pipes. How you doing, Johnny? Tabasco peppers will kill the worm I got from the pumpkin spice. You think it's a worm, do you? I sure hope not. Oh, Mushroom Legs got a joke for us. Why didn't the skeleton cross the road? Big Country Briar, happy Halloween to you, Cole. Good to see you, buddy. I'm trying to think of something clever, Mushroom Leg. Oh gosh, Phil, is that the answer? Because he was already on the other side. That is clever. I wasn't anywhere near that point. He didn't have the guts. Okay. Anyone know how to make tobacco have that creaminess? Is it an additive? Asks Poem. I don't know. It might have to do with Big Dave's copious amounts of white smoke that he's always talking about. He might know the secret recipe. There you go, Doug. You can take it, right? Ron Hardcracker, it's good to see you, Ron. Horse manure, Phil. We've only just gotten started. It'll get better, I promise. Capsaicin can give a buzz? I didn't know that, Ford. I think I told you my lab capsaicin story, which is about the Japanese postdoc and the capsaicin. Ah, thank you, Doug. Doug says the creaminess is a direct result of adding milk to the blend. Doug knows his tobacco, so that must be true. Stanley Smith. Hello, Stanley, smoking Sunset Harbor tonight. Very nice. Maybe he just wanted to break on through, Tim. Yes, Ron, I've got Bela out and puffing away. Bela's got a good constitution. He wakes up and stays awake for a full week. Oh, the horse manure is what smooths the blend out and makes it creamy. Gotcha, Phil. There's another. I forget who asked about the creaminess additive, but you're not going to get an answer. Welsh Piper, good morning. On a quick brew break? 4 or 5 hours to go. Well, good luck with it, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. I think Doug is pushing my leg, Phil. Yes. Yeah, Doug, this is going to be the first World Series that nobody east of the Mississippi or north of the Mason-Dixon line watches. No, this is not a Jake Hacker. This is Jesse Jones. Oh, he might have been saying hi to your dog, Tim. You know, I named my pipe after your dog. I hope he was saying hi to your dog. It's a little weird that Ron would say hi to my pipe, so that makes a lot more sense. That's interesting, Johnny. I didn't know that capsaicin could give you a buzz, but I, why not? It certainly does weird things to nerves, and you got them in your brain, so. Dry Fly Fisher 11, good to see you, buddy. You know, Phil, it's much funnier with that accent. There we go. Bona Piper's given a serious answer. Thank you, Christian. Cavendish. That's true. Cavendish can add creaminess to a blend, and it does produce white smoke. Oh, Welsh Piper, I'm glad you liked it. I had a great deal of fun making that video. And if you guys haven't seen it, I put it up yesterday. It's called my top 5 favorite pipe smoking moments from monster movies. Kevin, I think the teams that knock the Phillies out often lose, though. I could be wrong about that, but that seems right to me. So I might have to see who wins at this point. Who wins the losing prediction race? Copious amounts of, oh, is it rich white smoke, Big Dave? I thought it was thick white smoke. Okay. I should write that down. That seems about right, Phil. Glad you liked it, Peter. And indeed, Mushroom Leg. Matches enjoyed this time of year, so we'll keep them in mind. I will have the Matches Memorial pipe after I finish this one. I just wanted to start Halloween with a Halloween pipe. Oh, Choita! How you doing, my friend? Hillbilly Piper is asking, what are the Diamondbacks? Donnie, I don't know if you're seriously confused by the conversation or if you're being hilariously sarcastic. I think you do need to slow down, Tim. No, we're not going to have any more pumpkin, Welsh Piper. I thought so, Donnie. He was pushing our collective legs down. Smarty Bob, good to see you, buddy. That's a good one, Poem. I'm not going to read it, but Poem just put a... I'm not reading it just because it's kind of silly to read when everybody can read. Yeah. But it's a good joke. The shorter ones I'll read, the long ones I'll leave to all you literate folk. Ah, thank you, Ochoita. Yeah, I love that Gravedigger scene, and it doesn't get noticed very often because it's so early in the movie. Pushing our aggregate legs. You know, it's language like that that gets this show adult restricted. By the way, that happened again last week. I don't know if you saw my Sunday video, but I don't know what we did last week because my only memory is we talked about banana bread, but for some reason we were restricted. Well, Doug, those camels should try some of that pumpkin lager. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, Ron. Master deposited rustic billiard red collection, so it's got the red stem. Yeah, Dracula Halloween type. Very cool. It was the way I was peeling the banana. There was no banana peeling going on, Donnie. Well, that's an interesting story, Bill. Flowers, it works every time. Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, happy Halloween, buddy. It came from, oh no, it's not. That was Fiend Without a Face, Smarty Bob, and that is an excellent movie. But yeah, Kim Parker makes it for me too. They might have thought banana bread was a euphemism. Yeah, I'm trying to think really hard. I mean, I don't even think we did the Ginger Marianne Mrs. Howell thing last week. I can't imagine why it got flagged. Oh, thank you, Eric. Yeah, I need to get a Tyrolean too at some point. Uh, they're just really cool. Yeah, having handled them and worked on them, they're not. It's probably like my big gourd calabash. I'm not going to smoke it, but maybe once a year. But it would just be nice to have. Tamper proof. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. You know, Eric, if you get a Tyrolean, sometimes they're porcelain, so you might want to look over it really careful and just make sure there's no cracks. Eric bought this pipe that was cracked. It's a long story. Banana bread is code, just like an upside down pineapple? I have no idea what that means, mushroom leg, but I feel dirty having said it. Yes, Ed, I know you're gonna choose Mariana. I know. Ah, thank you, Tim. That song will stick, I promise you. And Gary's going Mrs. Hal for the money. Oh, that's cool, Eric. I hope you got a picture. This little boy's Frankenstein for Halloween. That's really cool. Yeah, Doug, that's the impression I had as well. Very much overly engineered, but cool. I'll put it with the gourd calabash, the what's the other one I'm thinking? Oh, the pipe. You know, the one made out of that super plastic stuff, carbonized plastic, whatever it was, and the big pile of stingers I pulled off of pipes. Eric, I can't stand that Gwen Gooley thing. I just, that bothers me. So it would be Marianne again. Do you like her? I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are Svengoolie fans, so sorry if this is just a chat between me and Eric at this point, but they added two characters. There's this Gwen Gooley and some imp guy, and I just can't stand them. I didn't mind the other guy, Nostalgia Ferratu. I thought he was funny, but they're just obnoxious. So I don't know, Eric, if you've heard, you know, if there's any buzz about whether or not they're popular, or I'm just hoping they go away. Frankenstein, yes, Phil. It's a Jesse Jones pipe, tamper proof, and yeah, the skull ring is really cool. It was nice of Eric, wasn't it, Doug? Did something happen to Tony Bennett? Oh, Tony Bennett died a while back, didn't he? Yes, Tim West does have stingers. The only person I know that stocks stingers, for goodness sakes. Really, Eric? A little bit of cleavage and you turn away from 40 years of history, huh? Yes, he had the Night Stalker on last Saturday, which was fantastic, and tomorrow he's got the Night Strangler, the other Kolchak movie, which I'm really looking forward to. There's Patrick Grant. How you doing, buddy? Oh, I don't like Thin Toony either, Ron, but yeah, that's at least tolerable. It's a different show. Oh, Tim's got me torn here. Marianne, Lily Munster, or Morticia Adams. You know, as much as my heart goes out to Marianne, I'm gonna have to go with Morticia. Yeah, she was something else. Yeah, they're leaving a lot of other stuff in San Francisco these days. I'm not choosing that one. I'm from that one, Phil. Yeah, beautiful weather these days, huh, Patrick? Weekend's supposed to be really nice. Yeah, I liked Elvira, Eric, but that's a different show. I don't like it when things change. Remember, I'm the guy that still records Svengoolie to the DVR and won't watch it until 10 o'clock because Svengoolie's not supposed to be on until 10 o'clock. So I'm not going to take very well to adding new characters. Indeed, Big Dave, you cannot go wrong with that. All right, we got a lot of votes for Morticia. I saw one vote for Lily. Um, Well, me and Armchair Piper Ed have very similar taste in the ladies, don't we? We're both Morticia and Marianne guys. Alexander Hamilton, good to see you, sir. Black frigate in his black Dublin Falcon. Nice. Oh yeah, the TV series is fantastic, Doug. I remember watching that when I was a kid and being terrified by it. Patrick's going to go for Lily too. Michael Case, how you doing, Michael? That's okay. I sometimes forget what day it is. You missed nothing important, Michael. Nothing at all. Just hanging out and enjoying ourselves. Terry Davy, hello. You missed my embarrassing story about what I did last night, but I'm not going to repeat that for you. Oh, Tim. Elizabeth Montgomery or Morticia? Elizabeth Montgomery. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm thinking of Lily. Yeah, I'm still going to stick with Morticia then. Poem's going with Morticia too. Yeah. They're going to reboot Highlander? Really? Oh, they weren't that buggy, Big Dave. Lily Tomlin or Gilda Radner? That's a tough one, Phil. Oh yeah, Darren McGavin in the Christmas Story is, it really shows his range as an actor too. He was something else. Lily Munster sang a song in one episode, says Poem. Well, Morticia Adams used to sing quite a bit, and she'd play that harp thing, or no, it was some sort of a I don't know what that instrument was, but she just would pluck the one string on it. It was terrible. Brian Woodward is signing in on his phone just to vote for Lily. Okay, I think the Lilies are taking over the Morticias here, guys. They did reboot Frasier, but at least they kept what's it, Kelsey Grammer. So I haven't seen any of them. Oh, Armchair Piper's got the two movies and the series for The Night Stalker on DVD. Nice. Smarty Bob's going with Kim Parker. She wasn't on the list, but yeah, I get you. I get you, Bob. Okay, if Eric's going to bring up Ruth Buzzy, I'm just tapping out at this point. It was a Ute. Thank you, Poem. Cara Mia, indeed, Michael. Oh my goodness, Phil, that's a scary choice. Now, this video doesn't get flagged. I don't know what's going to. I mean, we're talking about choosing between the mom on Bewitched or Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. Kevin Doolan's breaking in a new pipe tonight. Mark in Rhode Island. He's got a question for Eric. Thank you, Mark. And Lurker Choice checking in to offer up Phyllis Diller for us. Lara Parker died. I didn't hear that, Michael. That was Agnes Moorehead, Lord Hogarth. That was indeed. Happy Halloween, Mark. It's good to see you, buddy. So should we do some trivia? Or do you just want to continue to name random pairs of women? We can do that. God knows we've done it enough. Really? They're shutting you down on Instagram, Phil? That's odd. Okay, so first off, I want you to know that I do have all the answers. This is actually, if you don't mind, before I start the trivia, I'm going to empty this pipe and pack another. So I bought something, it's called something like the Big Book of Halloween Trivia or something like that, but it's not very big. It's intended for a party, or like a, one of those bar trivia type things. So you're supposed to have teams and whatnot, but we're not going to keep score. Mostly because I don't want to. I don't have any reason to. I'm not going to reload that pipe. I'm going to get out the Matches Memorial Marty Savinelli. And I did refill my big tub of Haunted Bookshop, so I think I've trained myself enough now that I can go back to using the tub. Because it was becoming like, you get the bowl and you pour the potato chips in it thinking, well, that'll be enough potato chips for the, well, you don't do that with potato chips, but M&Ms. You pour M&Ms in a bowl and you think, well, that'll be enough M&Ms for the week, and like an hour later, all the M&Ms are gone. Well, that's what the bucket of Haunted Bookshop was becoming like. But I think the tobacco of the week has slowed me down. Now, this week, because the two pipes I'm smoking are both Haunted Bookshop only pipes, we're not going to do tobacco of the week this week. It will return in all its glory next week. So the questions here, actually, let me use Frankenstein. The questions are in multiple choice format, but I read the first couple of them, and I don't think we need the multiple choice, but if we do, I can always, if nobody can guess, I'll give you the multiple choices. It is a Carter Hall tub repurposed, Smarty Bob. That's exactly what it is. I would have to go with Coltrane's, Tim. They're just cooler, plus it makes me think of John. Jalapeno potato chips, that sounds very addictive, Palm. Fire is both bad and good, Gary. Okay, let's get rolling here. And just offer up your answers. And again, I'm not going to keep score or anything. This is just for fun. And we won't use the multiple choice unless we have to. The first question is, a lycanthrope is, What's a lycanthrope? All right, we got a bunch of werewolves and one mushroom. The answer is a werewolf, of course. Okay, this is a fun one. And you might need the multiple choice for this one. Put my glasses on, try to get this right. C21H22N2O2 is the chemical formula for, and for all you chemists, I'll give it to you again, C21H22N2O2. Big Dave, are you saying Chuck Schumer is a lycanthrope, or is he defined by that chemical formula? Oh boy, we're not close here. So dry ice is not right, Patrick. Monster mash is funny, mushroom leg. It's not blood or air. Carbon hydro tobacco. Good one, Phil. LSD? No. Budweiser beer. Good one, Jim. Carter Hall, Mr. Hyde's formula, candy corn, some type of black plastic. Dry ice again, Bud Light, pumpkin lager. I'll give you the choices. So C21H22N2O2. A, strychnine, B, arsenic, C, candy corn, or D, cyanide. Somebody already said candy corn and I said no, so you only got 3 to choose from there. Strychnine, arsenic, or cyanide. Amethyst, that's a good guess, Tim. So C21H22N2O2 is the chemical formula for Brian Woodward's got it right, strychnine. How anyone would have known that, I don't know. All right, let's try one that I think this one will work without the multiple choice. The Egyptian god of mummification, this Egyptian god of mummification, is often depicted with canine features. No, Big Dave, it's what we wish was in Nancy Pelosi's blood, but close. Ah, poem. That's funny. Gary Edminster has got it right. It's slightly misspelled, but it is Anubis. It's Anubis, Anubis. Osiris was a good choice. That was one of the other possible choices. Seth was not on the list, Eric, but hey, you picked an Egyptian god, so good going there. Scooby-Doo gets an honorable mention, Taciturn Richard. Doberman Dude, another honorable mention. All right, no, it was Anubis. Gary Edminster got it right. All right. This one, I actually don't know if you'll get this or not. I think this is going to be an easy one, but we'll see how many Shakespeareans we've got in the audience. Which Shakespeare play features the following passage? And I am going to read the whole thing because I want to. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of fenny snake in the cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm sting, lizard's leg and howler's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Which Shakespearean play features that passage? Looks like Kevin Doolan was first to the answer with Macbeth, which is of course correct. Jeffrey Feinberg's still saying Anubis. Hamlet was on the list, but not correct, Michael. It is Macbeth. Lots of Macbeths coming in. The witch called the kettle black. It's a bit like that, yes. Guys and dolls. No, Eric, that was another Shakespearean play. Yes, the Three Weird Sisters. Great scene. Okay, next, number 5 here. Legend tells us that the Hope Diamond, purportedly worn by the ill-fated French Queen Marie Antoinette, began its colorful history where? What country? Hey, Piper on the 45. No mushroom leg, not to be confused. Patrick Grant has the right answer. Very good, Patrick. Lots of good choices there, all in the multiple choice. Africa and South Africa were mentioned. Egypt. I'm sorry, Russia and Canada were the other options, but it is India. India is where the Hope Diamond began its colorful history. Walla Walla, Washington is another possibility, but no, it was not. It was not Walla Walla. Also, no male can wear or possess it. Is that true, Phil? I know there's a lot of lore surrounding the Hope Diamond. Got another dramatic reading for you. I did so well with the three sisters that we'll try this one on. And you're going to get this one very quickly, but I'm still going to read the whole thing. Who penned these lines? So who was the author of the following? Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Yes. Poem got it right with Poe, which is one letter short of his name. Mark in Rhode Island comes in second. Yeah, nobody's going to get that wrong, right? Yep, Lurker Troy knew the name of the poem, and Phil had a little bit of a senior moment. Happens to all of us, Phil. No, it wasn't Biden, Eric. What he said was a little bit hard to understand. Although I heard he does do an excellent recitation of Finian's Wake. All right. A fairy ring is a naturally occurring collection of what? A fairy ring is a naturally occurring colony of what? Sorry, I got that wrong. I know, Eric. I might have been fooled by that as well. Kevin Doolin, you got it. Phil Rivera coming in second. Mushrooms. Yes, fairy ring is a naturally occurring ring-shaped colony of mushrooms. Would have taken toadstools, but that wasn't actually one of the answers. Mushrooms, daisies, mites, or berries? Guess it would have taken fungus as well, Tim, but you were beat by mushrooms. Oh, that is cool, Doug. I don't know if I've ever told this story. I probably have, but when I was in, I think, seventh grade, I was supposed to memorize and recite. I'm blanking on who. Oh, it was Longfellow, The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere on the 18th of April in 75. Hardly a man is now alive who can remember that fateful night and year. He said to his friends of the British March, I still remember this. I was in seventh grade, and I still remember this poem. I had to memorize it, and we were told to memorize it over the weekend. Okay? Now, at the time, and it was coming towards the end of the school year, my grandparents had a house in Wildwood, New Jersey that they would open up. They only stayed there in the summer, and they would open it up like starting weekends just to like get things ready and cleaned up and everything. So we'd go down. I'd go with them Friday night, and we'd stay Saturday, and then we'd come back on Sunday. And I'd help them with the stuff that had to be done. So I have to memorize this poem. And I can remember my grandfather just drilling me on this. You want to try it again? You want to try it again? And on and on. And I got it. I could go from beginning to end of this poem. And it's a long poem. And went in on Monday already, thinking I was going to have to stand up in front of the class and recite this thing. And the darn teacher never brought it up. Never even mentioned it. I hated that teacher. Still do. Because they're probably long gone. And I guess, I'm one of the few people that can recite The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, so that's something, Yes, Vincent Price was a master at reciting the Raven. Absolutely, Doug. Henry Wadsworth Longshanks. They are the worst, Eric. What grade do you teach? A ring of Lindsey Grahams. Yeah, Brian, you're right. Vincent Price could read just about anything and it would sound really cool. All right. Let's see. Number 8. A blood moon is caused by what? I thought so, Eric. Oh, I bet that was good, Michael. The Pit and the Pendulum, read by Vincent Price. That must have been really cool. Phil, I'm going to take your answer as correct. Phil says shadow of the Earth on the moon. The actual answer is a total lunar eclipse. Close enough. Taco Bell is wrong, Chris. Funny, but wrong. The atmosphere pollution, LA smog. The possible answers, total lunar eclipse is the correct answer. Solar storm, asteroid impact, and tidal wave were the other possibilities. Although we got quite a few interesting ones. The Earth's shadow, Phil beat you to it. Shadow on the Earth, that goes the other way, Tim. You never forget that stuff indeed, Doug. You just can't. In Mary Shelley's 1818 novel, the protagonist is Dr. Protagonist. Mary Shelley's novel. Who is the protagonist? Dr. Evil spell by Nancy Pelosi causes the blood moon. Jim PM, you got it right. Dr. Frankenstein. Yes. For extra credit, can anybody tell me the name of Mary Shelley's novel? It's funny, Shivago, poem says Dr. Shivago. The choices were Mendeleev, Shivago, Frankenstein, or Schaffenhausen. I do believe Vincent Price did smoke a pipe, Big Dave. Zachary and Ware, very good. The Modern Prometheus is the name. Well, yes, technically Eric's right. It's Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus, yes. But Zachary got in first with The Modern Prometheus, which was the part I was looking for. Good job, both. That would be a very hot day, Doug. Well, some of those odd poets probably wrote a lot of the novel as well, Phil. It's most folks agree that most reasonable folks agree that she probably did not write it on her own. She was young. Was it 21, Richard? I don't remember. Lurker Troy says Mary Shelley was hot. I don't think I've ever seen a picture or painting or anything of Mary Shelley, but Doug, of course, wants to know Mary Shelley or Diana Rigg. I'm going to go with Kim Parker. And Lord Hogarth thinks that Percy Shelley was hotter. There you go. All right. Okay, you ready? Which of these snakes is not venomous? I guess I can't stick with the not using the multiple choice anymore, huh? All right. Which of these snakes is not venomous. I need my glasses now. The questions are in bold, but the answers are harder to see. Okay. A, the boom slang. Spelled exactly the way it sounds, the boom slang. B, the coral snake. C, the African rock python. And D, the yellow-bellied sea snake. Which of these snakes is not venomous? I'll read them again. A is boomslang, B is coral snake, C is the African rock python, and D is the yellow-bellied sea snake. Some of those don't even sound real, but apparently they are. So Ford, technically I think you got the first right answer by saying python, but I got to give it to Gary for the full answer, which is the African rock python. Uh, the Fetterman, and the trouser snake get an honorable mention. Zachary Ware is coming in with rock python as well. I have never heard of the boom slang. That's interesting. And I thought that, I would have guessed the yellow-bellied sea snake was made up, but apparently they're all snakes. Percy Shelley was cremated on the beach. Yeah, he died in a swimming accident, if I recall. Very strange. In Italy. I remember I was in, where the heck was I? I was somewhere in Italy, and there was a plaque that was commemorating the place where his boat launched from. And he died swimming off that boat. The Diamondbacks. Good one, Donnie. There's actually a string of poets that died in Italy, which is kind of interesting. They were not Italian. Shelley was one. It's an Irish poet. I'm blanking on him. Anyway, they didn't all live at the same time, but I thought it would make like an interesting murder mystery at some point. Who's killing the poets in Italy, kind of thing. The rock paper scissors snake. Early Hungarian cabinet making for 500. Okay, Eric. Song stuck in my head for 1,000. Percy lived with Byron in Italy for a time. And then Byron went off to fight in one of the Turkish wars and got killed there. Boomslang is a Vietnam snake. That's interesting, Ford. I don't think his boat sank, Ron. I think he actually went swimming off of it and drowned. Was it Tuscany? I don't remember, Lord Hogarth. Okay, S words for 100. That's funny, Mark. Oh, that's one of my all-time favorite comedy routines. Popeye was one of these. Okay. I think we can go back to non-multiple choice here with number 11. The Greek god of the underworld is... Greek god of the underworld. Tim, are you referring to Doug's Monster Mash for the copyright strike? Because I actually did get a copyright strike for using that a couple years ago. Gary Edminster again with Hades. Yes, Tim Fournier coming in a close second. And then Mushroom Leg and Zachary and Armchair Piper. That was an easy one, I guess. Horus is a good guess poem, but I believe he was the Egyptian god of the underworld. Okay, this is an easy one. Close. I'm sensing a bit of a theme, Eric. All right, this is an easy one. Area 51, located in the United States, is found in which state? Gary was married to the Greek god of the underworld's sister. And Tim was married to the American god. Poems got it. He's first in with Nevada. Mark and Rhode Island a close second. Yes, Area 51 is in Nevada, in the desert. The high desert, as Art Bell used to say. Oh, I need my glasses for this. I probably don't need to read this, I think. Make sure I got the right answer. I'm not always correct. Okay. Whose tombstone in Stratford-upon-Avon bears this inscription? Good friend, for Jesus' sake, forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man, he spares thee these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. Whose tombstone in Stratford-upon-Avon bears that inscription? And it is written in very odd script, which is why I had so much trouble reading it. Like it's like Roman spelling, but English letters. Like dust is spelled DVST. Let's see. Jim PM first in with Shakespeare, and lots of folks. Kevin Doolan coming in second. Lots of folks getting that. Unknown Ochoita says Jim Morrison. Not a bad guess. I think he's buried in Paris, though. Jim PM's actually seen it. Very cool. Yes, the Stratford-on-Avon was a giveaway, I thought, but the other choices were Dante Alighieri, Anne Boleyn, and John Milton. So the next part of the book says, "Still alive? Excellent. Let's take a break." Shall we take a break or go on? How many questions? That was question number 13. Kind of spooky that they there's 26 questions altogether, so we're halfway through. I need to reload my pipe, I think. Maybe get a few more puffs and then we can start up again if you want, or we can move on. Everybody has that on their tombstone. That would be nice. No, it is not an iambic pentameter. Good point, Michael. All right, Ward, thanks for joining us, buddy. You have a great evening and good day at work tomorrow. Morrison's in Paris. You learned that watching Daryl's Walking Dead series? Okay, Kevin. Yeah. So, Mark, it's next to an arch that was blank? You visited Art Bell's grave, Flint Hill. That's cool. That is a good one. Best tombstone. I told my wife I didn't feel well. That's a very good one. I told you I was sick. That's another. Had an allergic reaction to life. That's clever, Kevin. Trying to remember, I saw a really funny one this past week. Phil, I don't know if you sent. No, you sent me the park bench, which was hilarious. I can't remember what that said, but it was really funny. But I also saw a tombstone that I remember I copied it to send to my wife to let her know that's what I wanted. See if I have it while I finish up the haunted bookshop here. No, did I not save it? I could never figure out on Instagram where the stuff you save goes. Probably in that folder called saved. Oh, darn it, I don't think I saved it. That's a shame because I wanted to tell my wife to put that on my gravestone and I cannot even remember vaguely what it was. Oh well. Never should have brought her that frying pan. Yes, you do look fat in that dress. That famous last words. That's a good one, Michael. Honey, the car is hot. Tell it you have a headache. Oh, that's funny, Gary. I am a little creeped out by graveyards, Palm. Not as much as some. Um, but I dated a girl when I was in college that actually lived across the street from a graveyard. And that was a really strange thing because it was completely normal to her. Like she had no sense that that was weird. And I remember one of the first times I went to her house to meet her mom and dad and stuff like that. I remember we had dinner or something, and afterwards she said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And she said, "Okay, we can go across the street to the graveyard." And it was dark. And it was completely normal for her to go for a walk in the graveyard. Apparently that's something that the people in that neighborhood did. Um, I didn't. She was a lovely girl, though. And yes, Ed, it was in Newtown. Yes. I sure hope you don't know who I'm talking about. No, her name was not Nina. I don't get that, Mark. I'm sorry. I ordered the pumpkin lager. I'm never going to live that down, am I, Kevin? Famous graveyard that people are, yes, dying to get in. It's true, Smarty Bob. For a lot of folks, marriage chapels they have a lot more reason to be afraid of marriage chapels. Well, Lord Hogarth, that might be the reason that she's not my wife. Um, Although that relationship kind of ended well. It wasn't I remained friends with her and actually heard from her a couple times after she got married, actually. Tim was born in Lewiston, Maine, and graduated from Lewiston High. Okay. Really, Ron? That must have been an interesting night. That's a good question, Armchair Piper. So if it's bad luck to kiss a pretty girl in a graveyard, is it good luck to kiss an ugly girl in a graveyard? I don't know. No, Doug, I don't know what you mean. Could you explain that? Just teasing. Flint Hill often walks through a cemetery day or night. Interesting. Like I said, I'm not particularly creeped out by them. Like if I had to get somewhere and it was faster to go through a graveyard to get there, and I'm talking about a modern graveyard, not like something in the Frankenstein movie. Which, by the way, in Frankenstein, the opening scene, why in the world are they having a funeral at night? I never thought about that until I was making that video the other day. Why were they burying that person at night? Maybe it was supposed to be like close to sunset, but even then, I don't know. Anyway, it wouldn't bother me if it was a modern graveyard and I just had to cut through it. But the idea of doing it for recreation just somehow seems odd to me. It would depend on how many beers you've had and if they were pumpkin lagers as well. Graveyards are the best place to take your labs for a run. Until he digs something up. Okay, let's get back to some trivia. Oh, I actually like the answers for this one. Let's see. So this is number 13, I believe. Make sure that that matches up. No, that's not right. Oh no. Uh-oh. The Kindle just closed on me here. Give me a minute while it wakes up. I gotta close it and reopen it. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, I turned the page. All right, number 14. I'm going to do this as multiple choice because I don't think you'll be able to get it otherwise, because I won't be able to get it otherwise. Number 14, Windsor Castle is haunted by which monarch? A, I need my glasses. It's either George the First or George the Second. Okay. Windsor Castle is haunted by which monarch? A, George the Second, B, Edward the First, C, Richard the First, or D, Henry the Eighth? Windsor Castle haunted by which monarch? George the Second, Edward the First, Richard the First, Henry the Eighth. They buried at night to prevent grave robbers, Lord Hogarth says. That could be, but it didn't work in that film. Lord Hogarth, Henry VIII is correct. I think. Did I get that wrong? No, I was right. Henry VIII is indeed correct. And probably several of Henry VIII's queens, Lurgatroy. Yes, indeed. Okay, number 15. The literal translation of chupacabra is what? And I'll give you a hint. It's not D, turkey burner. I don't know, Gary. I don't have any more information on it. Be interesting to look that up, though. Mosquitoes do go away at night, Poem. Good point. Hello, sailor. Good to see you, buddy. I see 2 goat eaters. That is not correct. Mexican bad time. What is the literal translation of chupacabra? I thought this would be an easy one. Maybe I'm just a weird guy that ugly girl in a graveyard. No, Kevin, that's not right. Although it is bad luck. Okay, I'll give you another hint. Well, you know what? I'll just give you the multiple choice. It is goat something. You're right about that, Lord Hogarth. As soon as you hear it, you're going to know what it is. So I'll give you the multiple choice. So A is toe tickler. B is goat sucker. C is bone crusher. And D is turkey burner. Goat killer, goat droppings. No, you're getting warm. Well, not goat droppings. That's goats that drink. No, no, it's not goats that drink blood. Goat tastes like chicken. Tim's got the second part. Yep, because chupa chupas are lollipops. The answer does suck. The answer is goat sucker. Okay. Let's see how smart you are with this one. We'll try this without the multiple choice, and then if we need it, we'll do it. This archaeologist opened King Tut's burial chamber and allegedly unleashed a curse in 1923. Son of a motherless goat. There you go, Eric. Yeah. Patrick Grant got goat sucker. Finally, somebody got goat sucker. This archaeologist opened King Tut's burial chamber and allegedly unleashed a curse in 1923. It was not Indiana Jones. It was not Clinton. Eric, the blue-collar pipe smokers, got it right. It was Howard Carter, also known as the British guy, Zachary. Good job. Okay, we'll do this one as multiple choice because this would be tough to just randomly guess. So number 17, the year that a prisoner was last executed in the Tower of London. Okay, the year that a prisoner was last executed in the Tower of London. 1898, 1941, 1889, or 1952? Last execution in the Tower of London. 1898, 1941, 1889, or 1952? Poem. Very good. 1941 is the answer. That is interesting, and it must have had something to do with the war. Amen, Peter. Enjoy that haunted bookshop, buddy. Must have had something to do with the war. 1941. Flynn O'Brien, are you suggesting that it was Howard Carter that was executed? Billy Carter. All right. I just realized we're at time here. I don't mind continuing if you don't mind. And of course, if you got somewhere better to be, move on. Because we've only got, I think, 5 or 6 more. In Greek mythology, what would lure sailors to their death? And, well, the fact that they're sailors kind of indicates that they would be on the sea. All right, Armchair Piper, happy Halloween to you, buddy. Have a good one. Michael Case. Sirens indeed. Mark in Rhode Island, a close second. And honorable mention for mermaids. I like that answer. Armchair Piper weighed in with sirens before he ran away. Good job, Ed. Zachary Ware. The Kraken, says Lurker Troy. Good night, Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us. Kim Parker. You know, Smarty Bob, if I was a sailor and Kim Parker was off on a rock singing, I'd probably get lured to my doom. Can you tell me and Smarty Bob like Kim Parker? All right. Okay, this is probably going to be a tough one. I know the right answer when I read the multiple choice, but I don't know if I would have come up with this answer. So let's see how it goes. If you cross the event horizon of a black hole, you will find yourself curiously what? What happens to you when you cross the event horizon of a black hole? You become something. Kind of the opposite of crushed, Palm. But the physicist gave it a clever name, or a cute name. You probably would be constipated, Lord Hogarth. Not compacted. Well, that would be one explanation for it, Jim PM. Curiouser and curiouser indeed. Expanded in a parallel dimension, really cold, woke. Long and stretched out. Yeah, but there's a term for it, sailor. Sailor's right. And elongated, but there's a term that they use for it. I'll give you the answer because you're probably not going to get it. But the technical term, and I only know this because I'm a physics geek. The technical term is spaghettified. So you actually get stretched out, and they call it spaghettified. The other possible answers, well, the choices were multiplied, Kentucky fried, magnified, or spaghettified. Good night, Gary. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a great weekend. funny. I see Gary saying, "I'm out. Audio is breaking up bad." I'm sorry, Gary, but I can't do anything about that. Is everybody having audio problems? I just think it's funny that people get mad about it. If it's Prince Spaghetti Day, indeed, Mark. That was Wednesday, wasn't it? Oh, this is an interesting one. The practice of shrinking heads by some tribes of indigenous people was practiced in which area? So in what area did they shrink heads? Actually, I have to look this one. Oh, I can see it through the paper. How about that? I'll give you choices for this because it's going to be here. Not here is a good answer. Oh, you're saying no audio problems? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Fetterman might have been spaghettified, Eric. I mean, I feel bad about it when somebody does that. You know, they get mad and say, "I'm out of here. It's the audio is bad," but I don't think it's my fault. Congress is a good answer, Mark. South America, I'll give you choices. So we've got, I'll give you choices, but I need glasses to give you choices. The Atacama rainforest, the Borneo rainforest, the Amazon rainforest, or the Vanuatu rainforest. It's one of those rainforests. Atacama rainforest, Borneo rainforest, Amazon rainforest, and Vanuatu rainforest. That'll shrink your head for sure, Tim. It is not the Borneo rainforest. The smooth piper is correct. It is the Amazon rainforest, and pensive piper got Amazon, but it was partial answers. I wanted to wait until somebody got Amazon rainforest, but Amazonian, a close second there for Jimmy 513. So good job, all three of you. All right. According to official U.S. government sources, so you know this is going to be true. According to official U.S. government sources, the July 1947 Roswell incident was attributed to a what? According to the U.S. government, what happened at Roswell? What landed at Roswell? Yeah, I don't want to go there either, Jim PM. Poem got it right out of the gate. Chris Kahn, close second. Yeah, lots of folks getting this one. Mark in Rhode Island, Tim Fournier. Weather balloon is the right answer. The choices were meteor or comet, weather balloon, zeppelin, or flying saucer. Which, of course, knowing the government, flying saucer would have been the least likely choice. You know, Jim, Mothman is really a cool thing. I don't know if I don't remember where you're at, but I think it's in West Virginia is it West Virginia or Virginia where the Mothman was sighted? Really interesting story. Okay. You'll probably get this one. Count Dracula, the vampire in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula, is based upon legends surrounding this historical figure. Who is the historical figure that Bram Stoker based Dracula upon? You have a goat man in Louisville? That's cool, Tim. You went to the Mothman Museum, Jim? It's West Virginia. Cool. It's really interesting. Vlad who, Mark? Michael Case, Vlad the Impaler, Chris Kahn. You had the right idea, Mark. And Michael Case, you didn't get the D in there, but we'll give it anyway. You and Chris tied pretty much. Glad the impolite honorable mention. Anybody know Vlad's actual name? The IRS. He did have some serious issues indeed, Lord Hogarth. He was a very strange man. I believe his actual name was Valescu. And that and 50 cents will get me a cup of coffee, as my grandfather used to say, although it's no longer true. All right. In July of 2015, longtime Loch Ness Monster researcher Steve Feltham posited that Nessie is actually a what? In July of 2015, longtime Loch Ness Monster researcher Steve Feltham posited that Nessie is actually a... Yes, Vlad Tepes was another name that he went by. A succubus? That would be odd. Sturgeon, giant squid, dinosaur. Cousin of Pelosi. An old lizard thing. I love how we've managed to work politics into the Halloween trivia. In hilarious fashion. Rosie O'Donnell. Good one, Eric. A manatee, Pelosi, yep. I'll give you multiple choice. You've hit on some of these already. Okay, so Nessie is actually A, squid, B, a plesiosaur, C, an eel, or D, a catfish. This is according to Loch Ness Monster researcher Steve Feltham, or maybe it's Feltham. Feltham. So Jimmy 513 is saying B, a plesiosaur. Michael Case is guessing eel. Tim's going with the plesiosaur. The answer is actually, and oddly, surprisingly to me, catfish. Now, of course, that's not actually known. Catfish on a drunk of Glenmorgan. There you go. No, I would have guessed anything but catfish, but apparently Steve Feltham thinks that it is a catfish. Big catfish that sticks its head out of the water for some reason. Very interesting. Okay, which of the following was used as a paralyzing poison by South American indigenous people? And I'll give you the multiple choice on this. Oh, Lurker Troy, that's not true. Which of the following was used as a paralyzing poison by South American indigenous people? Curaco, Curacha, Curare, or Curara? That would make a lot of fish and chips. Palm and Michael Case practically tied. Mark in Rhode Island coming in really fast too. Curare is the answer. Curare, which is a acetylcholine receptor antagonist that blocks the neuromuscular junction. Just thought you'd like to know that. Yes, it is tree frog venom. That is correct. I actually wrote a song about curare to the tune of Volare when I was in graduate school. And no, I won't sing it to you. And no, old Joe Krantz wasn't used by the indigenous people of South America, Eric? Everybody knows the indigenous people of South America smoke Captain Black. All right. Bats are the only animals capable of... Oh, I'm sorry. That's not right. Bats are the only mammals capable of. And the possible answers are A, night vision, B, flying, C, hunting by sonar, or D, sleeping upside down. Night vision, flying, hunting by sonar, or sleeping upside down. Mark in Rhode Island has the right answer. The answer is flight. They are the only mammals capable of flying. Flying squirrels cannot fly, they can only glide. So, interesting. Night vision, I think a lot of mammals have night vision. Hunting by sonar, dolphins can do that. Whales, I think, well, maybe not whales, but dolphins definitely can. And sleeping upside down, sloths do that. So, yeah. Interesting. Okay, last of the trivia questions. Some of you are breathing a deep sigh of relief. Fighting crime. Oh, Eric, I love you, buddy. Yes, bats are the only... I just got the full impact of that joke, Eric. Thank you. Oh, this is rather random. I kind of wish I stopped at 25. Okay, this is the last question. Francisco Goya's 19th century painting, Saturn Devouring His Son, may have been inspired by this Flemish Baroque artist's painting bearing the same title. And the choices are Titian, Franz Hall, Caravaggio, or Peter Paul Rubens. You know, Superman and the Flying Nun both throw a ratchet into that answer, don't they? Thor is a mammal as well. Yeah. Francisco Goya's 19th century painting, Saturn Devouring His Son, may have been inspired by this Flemish Baroque artist painting bearing the same title. Titian, Franz Hall's, Caravaggio, or Peter Paul Rubens. Bram's Fall, I think you mean Franz Hall, I think, Jim, and that's not correct. It's not Titian. It's not Rand Paul. Sally Field had it going on at one time, indeed, Jim. And the sky is gray. Michael Case, you got it. It is Peter Paul Rubens, and I'm surprised we didn't get any Pee Wee Herman jokes. I have never seen Saturn Devouring His Son. I'll have to look that up. I'm sure it's terrifying, because why else would it be in a Halloween quiz book? But that's the Halloween trivia. And he loves his mouse. Good job, guys. Thanks for playing along. That was fun, and it was much more entertaining with your input. So I appreciate all the laughs. All right, we got 10 minutes until we're a half an hour over, so we might as well finish out the hour. Anybody have any Halloween plans? I mean, I guess your dads are probably doing some trick-or-treating with the kids. I'm going to be watching some some movies. Don't know what yet. I might try to watch a couple of more what I think you guys would probably consider horror movies. I've been watching a lot of Brandon Tenold's cult movie reviews, and a lot of the movies he reviews I've seen, but there's a couple that I haven't, and some of them are more in the sort of slasher genre, which I don't normally like. So I might take a dive into that because my wife's not home. She's not going to be back until Wednesday, I think. So I can watch whatever I want. Jim PM's taking the grandkids around. That's cool. Silver Bullet, is that a recommendation, Mark? Yeah, give me some movie recommendations. And don't tell me like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything like that. I'm just not into that, but yes, Eric, I hope Owen's costume winds up on Instagram. I would love to see that. Sailor, enjoy the weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight, buddy. It was good to see you. Okay, I'll put Silver Bullet on the list. Oh, happy birthday, Smarty Bob. You tricked your mom. Just doing the animal sacrifice this year, Tim? Okay. Salem's Lot. Smile. Okay. Blind Date. That doesn't sound like a horror movie poem. Well, I guess. Yeah, Michael, that sounds like torture. 6 hours in the makeup chair. I've seen Creepshow, Tim. I have seen that one. Queen of the Damned. Us and the Other. Scariest movie ever was Showgirls. Thank you, Tim. I'm gonna skip that one. I, I'm not. I'm not a strong enough guy to watch Showgirls. Sorry. Which I highly recommend. It's a good German-made. Um, I don't know what you'd call it. It was like sci-fi drama, kind of. Oh, Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed. That's a classic Hammer film there, Peter. I love that one. Cujo. Okay, I did see that a long time ago. American Werewolf in London. That's a good one. Definitely have seen that. I have to admit, going back to Cujo and Salem's Lot, I'm not a fan of Stephen King movies. Um, I used to like his writing, but honestly, that got a little bit old after a couple of books. Sleepyhound Piper says The Lighthouse because it's awful. Okay. You know, Jim, I'll admit something here with Hellraiser. I rented Hellraiser back when I was in graduate school and lived by myself, and it was videotape. That's how long ago this was. And I put it in, and I watched about the first 10, 15 minutes of it, and I just said, nope, not going to do it. So maybe I'll give that another shot. Metropolis. Fritz Lang, very good. House of a Thousand Corpses. There you go. Smarty Bob's gonna watch the horror film Debbie Does Dallas. There, we've got our adult rating for the evening. April Fool's Day. That's a slasher one, right, Tim? Another classic, Brides of Dracula with Peter Cushing. You know, Nosferatu is I just recently rewatched that. It's available on this old movie app that I downloaded, but it's just like an aggregator that links you to like YouTube movies. It's not anything special, so you can find it on YouTube. But Nosferatu is creepy. I'd seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in many years, and I just rewatched it a couple months ago. It's really a creepy movie, very atmospheric. Well done. For a silent film, I was surprised at how much I felt from it. You've mentioned that before, the Bram Stoker Dracula with Oldman. Doug, I've never seen that, and I should probably try to find that one. That's a good suggestion. Young Frankenstein, can't go wrong with that, Chris Kahn. The Thing, yeah. Dr. Phibes, great movies. Could just give it up and watch the Red Green Show. That's a good option, Tim. John Carter is a good non-horror movie. Closet of Dr. Caligari. There you go. People Under the Stairs. No. No, Todd, that's going too far for me. I know enough about that movie. Yeah, the music definitely plays a big role in Nosferatu, Patrick. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If you haven't seen Brandon Tenold, I mean, he's definitely not family friendly. He uses very strong language, and there's a lot of drug references and stuff. But I find him really hilarious. And the movies he reviews are, movies that I watched when I was a kid. Like the late night cable type movies. Uh, Big Dave. So anyway, I recommend his channel if you're into that sort of thing. But again, it's not he uses strong language and there's a lot of drug references. So if you're not into that sort of thing, don't do it. Well, my pipe is empty. Smoked 3 pipes tonight. My mug is not, but it's now got melting ice in it, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Well, I'll give you a last look at the Halloween mug before it goes away for the year. Very cool. My wife bought that for me. Just for this show. And she also bought me my decoration back there. And one last look at the Jesse Jones. This is not the last time you'll see Bela, because I will probably smoke him on Sunday. But that will be the last time. Until next year. Island of Dr. Moreau is an excellent, I think it would be horror creator. But people argue about this stuff. Yeah, all the Vincent Price Poe stories are great. House of Wax is fantastic. Peter, you're hitting a lot of great classics. Yeah. Anyway, folks, let's call this to a close. We've gone well over, but thank you for hanging out with me tonight and having some Halloween fun. I really enjoyed it, and hope you all have a very happy Halloween. Watch some spooky movies. Take the kids out trick-or-treating. Eat some candy. The roll of tape is not a decoration, Smarty Bob. It's just there because it's a workbench. All right. Thanks, guys. You all take care, and I'll see you next week. So have a good one.